Okay, this will be the start of our math game, and we're going to use this Buccaneer face that we have here. First thing we're going to do is go to the Unity Hub. Let's start a new project. So we're going to hit New Project. Now I'm fully aware that some of you have different installations of Unity on your computer. The majority of class has this. If you're in this, you'll notice that when you click, the different variations have different starting points. They just describe these different layouts differently. And I would say if you're in this 2022, go ahead and go with this like 2D or maybe the universal 2D core. Let's make it match. I'm going to go ahead and go with this 6. Universal 2D core is what we're going to go with. So you go ahead and pick that one as well. Okay, and then I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call this Math Game. And then if you scroll down, you'll see your location where it's being saved. Okay, so I have a folder already set up for me on my desktop. You save it wherever you want, and then hit Create Project. Okay, and it's going to take a little bit of time to build the project for the first time. And then we'll go ahead and set up some things right away, set up some folders that we'll need, and organize the screen to fit the right size that we want. While that's compiling, if you want, you could take a look at your Illustrator document and make sure you could have Illustrator opened up and Photoshop, because we're gonna eventually take the face of the Buccaneer and put it into Photoshop. I think maybe we'll have enough. It's probably going to take about another 10 seconds, but let's see if it doesn't do it in about 5 seconds. We'll go ahead and move on. Here we go. Okay. Now, it's going to tell me my license is revoked. I hit OK, and then I could, for some reason, I could just keep working. Okay, so here we go. We have it always Unity, again, it always starts with a sample scene. Now, I had played around with this in my last project, and it seems like, I wonder if it saves settings from project to project, because it originally opened up in a different aspect ratio, and I will, okay, here we go. So it started out like this. And what I would like us all to do is, first of all, just take a look. This would be like a 9:16 ratio with a tall phone. We're going to go ahead and declare that we're going to go 16:9. That's a horizontal layout. It lets everybody set this to this ratio. You could actually add different resolutions and stuff if you wanted to. If for some reason 16:9 isn't there, you could try that. Okay, now, but let's save this scene with a different name. Let's go File, Save As, and save this as, we'll call this Level 1. Level 1, and it's going to be in the Scenes folder, so double click, and we will hit Save, and you'll notice at the top it's changed the name to Level 1. And if you go into the Scenes folder, we'll have a Level 1 scene. Okay, then in Assets, let's go ahead and set up our Control Create. Let's create a new folder called Images. This is where we're going to put the Buccaneer, and we'll make a folder called Scripts. Okay, just kind of keeping things organized. Scripts. Okay, there we go. Now let's get our Buccaneer in here and let's get started on this. So from Illustrator, this is where we drew the Buccaneer and we put a square, put him in a square. I'm going to just select the Buccaneer, edit copy. We'll go into Photoshop, and I'm going to create a new document, File New, and whatever size that you have set him at, or whatever his original size, but when you copy him, it'll be there. So mine's 297 pixels wide. When I hit Create and paste him in, edit paste, you want to pick this right here, Smart Pixels. That'll keep all of the cool vector capability, the vector art part of this, and so whatever size you created, it'll still maintain its clarity. It won't get blurry. Okay, so you can hit return on your keyboard, and then we're gonna make, I'm mostly just doing this. We're gonna go image size, and we're gonna make, I want everyone to have their height and width to be 400 by 400, and that isn't like something that you have to do like on your own time, but since we're managing a whole class, when we move forward, I just want to be able to, you know, tell everybody that the same exact dimensions for everybody's graphic, and I just feel like that's might be helpful in the future when there's just different sizes. It's more challenging in a whole class setting, but if we all have everything at the same size, that's a little helpful. So I'm gonna go to export, and we're gonna go quick export PNG, and we're gonna navigate to our folder. By the way, if you don't know on an Apple, you can click this little down arrow and you could kind of see your folders. And so I'm gonna go into my math game, and in the assets folder, what did we create? We created an images folder, and I'm gonna call this Buck. Okay, and hit save. Now, back into Unity. Let's go back into Unity. It should be, now it should, you can see this is an empty folder. This just got something in there. Now, one thing we're noticing is that when you click on this image, you'll see that it might say multiple. By the way, this little arrow will have it in here, because you could slice this up into multiple pieces. I'm gonna set this to single, because that's all we want right now is a single image for this. And yes, it still has this guy inside there. It just kind of says more information about this. Don't worry about that too much, and then hit apply. After I set it to single, I'll hit apply. Okay, great. Now, we have some decisions to make. We could put the image in the canvas, or we could just put it in front of the camera. By the way, I'm gonna just click this 2D to make the camera look 3D, and I'm just moving around just for fun to show you that the camera it's aiming that direction. Go back to 2D. I'm gonna go ahead and put the Buccaneer in here now. So I'm gonna go Control, I'm gonna create it empty. I'm gonna call it Buck. And I'm gonna add a component on here called a sprite renderer. Okay? And then the sprite renderer needs a sprite in there. And if you didn't have this at 0, 0, 0 for some reason, like if you had it at 7, and 7, he's off screen, or whatever your numbers were, sometimes it has crazy numbers in there. 7, 7, 7, or 0, 0, 0, and there he is. And you can resize them in different ways. If you have this tool, you could resize it. I would hold Shift to make sure it's perfect to scale. I'm gonna Command Z. Or you could scale it over here. They say, like, if you wanted them really big or something like that, or if you wanted them a little bit smaller. I think I had it like this when I was building this game before. And then I'm gonna move it up here. Now, because I know that we're gonna put the problem right here, the math problem, and then the buttons down here. Now, one thing to just think about, like if you were a real game developer and you're targeting phones, you have a lot to think about. Do you want the phone to be tall, wide? Do you want players have that option of doing either one? Then you've got to really figure out where you're positioning things, because on the top right corner is where I was envisioning this before I made the game, and then I thought, oh, what if somebody put their phone this way and it's off screen? So I could move it back here. By the way, the X coordinate right here, you could just set that exactly in the middle by putting a 0. Okay, so those are just considerations. Okay, I'm gonna stop this video. Go ahead and take a screenshot of your setup like this, and then we'll move on to the next phase. Have fun.